Hi friends, welcome back to Scratch Junior. This is lesson number 2, and we're going to create a new project today called Find the Hidden Numbers game. If you click on the home button, that'll take us right to our My Projects page. And do you remember from the first video how we create a new project? If you said to click the plus sign, you would be correct. So let's get started. Here we have our Scratch Cat on a blank background, and we want to hide some numbers. Is a blank background the best place to hide numbers? Probably not, right? Probably we want to find a more colorful background, one that's easier to hide things in. So let's take a look by pressing the picture button at the top of the screen and looking at our choices. I think the bedroom will make a really good place to hide things, so I'm going to select that and press the check button, and now we've got our background as the bedroom. I'm also going to take Scratch Cat and drag him off the bed because we don't need him there right now, but we'll come back to him in a little later on. In order to hide numbers, we need to create numbers. Let's take a look and see if there are any number characters. Well, there are some number characters, but those are number characters I created. If you're clicking on your own screen, you'll find that you don't have those number characters because you haven't created any yet. So let me show you how to do that. Go ahead and click on the blank square and select the paintbrush, and now we're going to make our own characters. I would suggest that you make those characters a little bit small because they're going to be hidden behind an object. And if they're too big, the object won't be able to hide them, right? So let's select one of these thinner line options and then go into one square and draw our number in that one square. And if it's not perfect, you can always delete it and start over again. But I just wanted to show you how to do that. Once you're happy with your number, click the check mark. Then that number is going to be in on our background. In this case, now I need to find a place to hide the number. Where would I like that number to hide? Well, I could leave it right on the bed, or I could move it somewhere else. So I think I'm going to leave it on the bed for now. But let's see, we're going to make a few other characters. See the number 2. Now, again, you'll have to create the number 2, but mine is already here. Now, remember on the last video when the Scratch Cat and the A were on top of each other? Well, we certainly can't have the numbers 1 and 2 on top of each other. So let's move that number 2 somewhere else in the room. And we will have it, oops, I moved the number 1. We'll leave that there. I'm going to put the number 2 right here on the toy box itself because I think a toy box is probably going to be a really good hiding place for an object, don't you think? And then we'll make the number 3. And when we make the number 3, that will be on the bed as well. We're going to move that. I'm going to move it on top of our nightstand. Now, the numbers are fine just the way they are. They're just characters in the room. We don't need them to do anything special. But what we do need are items to cover them. So let's go ahead and select those characters as well. First character I'm going to select is, I think that I will find a soccer ball. A soccer ball would be perfect in that toy box, don't you think? So now I just take the soccer ball and cover up the number 2 with it, and it should be perfect. Look at that. And now I'm going to find another bed. And as I scroll down here, I'll find another bed, and I will add that. And now all I have to do is, this is a little trickier. You've got to perfectly cover the old bed with the new bed, so nobody can really tell there's a second bed there. And then we're going to add the nightstand. The nightstand will go right over here and cover the old nightstand. Now you might be saying, oh, Mrs. T, we have a problem. That nightstand is on top of that bed. That's okay, because once I click the bed, I can move the bed around, make sure it's covered, and then it'll actually cover part of the nightstand. It'll look just like the original picture. And if you're coming on to this as a player, you're not going to know any better. So now I have all of my numbers and all of my items in place, and it's time to code. When we're playing a game, what is the first thing we need to know about the game? Did you say the directions on how to play? If you did, you're right. And that's what we're going to use Scratch Cat for. So for Scratch Cat, we need an event handler. Now, usually we want directions to come right up immediately. So which handler do we use when we want things to happen automatically? The green flag. So we'll drag the green flag right down to our script, and then we're going to find a directions block. And we have a couple of choices. If you want, you could use this writing block here, and we could write the directions right there. We could choose to write the directions, but I think this time it'll be better if we instead record the directions. In fact, it could be a lot of fun. You're going to record the directions, and the directions will say, press objects in the room until you find the 3 numbers. There we go. So now we've got our instructions already recorded. What's fun about that is you can make up a silly voice to be Scratch Cat, you can use your own voice, or you can even ask someone else and give them a script to be the voice. Any way you want to do that will work. All right, so now we need to code our items. Now, what do we want those items to do? If we are trying to have somebody find something, we probably will need to use a different event handler than the green flag, don't you think? What is the best event handler for this project, do you think? Do you think it's the tap to start? I think it is. So we're going to start on a tap. So that means when somebody touches that soccer ball, we want the soccer ball to do something to reveal the number. I think the best thing to have the soccer ball do is to disappear. So we'll press the purple looks handler, and we'll select this one right here that says hide. We'll drag that over so that when we touch the soccer ball, it will automatically hide, and then we'll reveal the number. Let's see if that works. It works perfectly. Looks good. Press objects in the room. So now all we have to do is do the same thing for our other objects in the room. Just hide them when they're touched. So then we will reveal our numbers as we play the game. So there we go. That looks like it's going to work. Let's test it out. Press objects in the room until you find the 3 numbers. And so if I'm a player, I can just touch and say, oh, there's the number 3, so that's the last number. And there's the number 2, and there's number 1. You see, our game worked exactly the way we wanted it to. Press objects in the room until you find the 3 numbers. Oh, sorry about that. It just really wants to keep playing. Press objects in the room. There we go. So now what I'm going to suggest to you is when you make your game, to use at least 5 numbers, or if you really want to challenge, use up to 10 numbers. And you can hide numbers all over the room with all different types of objects. Have a lot of fun with it. See you next time, and I look forward to looking at your game when we're together again. Bye.